Where are we? All right, we are live. All right, okay, so what's the title of this video? A Web3 software supply chain. Okay, so yeah, so basically the thing is, all we have to do is um, all we have to do is just encode to this format, and we get a Web3 software supply chain for free. We don't have to do anything other than save to this format. Like that's the beauty. That's part of why this is so exciting with these DIDs, right? So yeah, so this is part of why it's so exciting with these DIDs, right? Because if we had to implement caching, right? Going around looking for some caching, like looking for what to do there, right? Finally, this DID stuff becomes clear in working, with other developers on our project, realizing we're going to need to share the information that we're caching, right? And lo and behold, this DID stuff looks perfect. And then realize, what if this is Web3 stuff? What about the interoperability with the other blockchain ecosystems? Well, it turns out there's this Hyperledger Cactus project, and it might be able to help us with that. So yeah, so excited about that, and excited about all this stuff. So let's see. Okay, what else? Well, we're looking at some. Oh, looking at yeah, more of the, remember the S-bomb, right? So we're going to go and generate a bunch of S-bombs with CVE Ben tool, and then in the process of generating them, we're going to run. So what we're going to do is we're going to integrate with CVE Ben tool. We are going to then run CVE Ben tool on the integration with CVE Ben tool itself by running the job in a workflow, right? And so we're going to use our Kubernetes-based executor to run the job in a workflow, or run the workflow as a Kubernetes job. And then we're going to snapshot the environment when it's done, right? Take that container before it's spun down, run through our CVE Ben tool checker, right? Now, data's on chain. Okay, so where's the chain? I have no idea yet. All right, probably a bunch of JSON files or something. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Maybe the MySQL connector. We'll put it in MySQL. Blockchain. Now on MariaDB. Didn't see that one coming, did you? So that's the beauty of these things. You can put them wherever you want. So yeah, we have the MariaDB, MySQL, whatever connector. So we'll just throw them in there for now. I think we have a Mongo. Oh, no, 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 you can't. Yeah, Mongo had some kind of licensing thing. This is why MariaDB is good. It's also got good startup time. So we'll just throw them in there. Um, Now we'll have our centralized, but at the same time distributed database. And the other thing is, so we can do basically, we're just going to throw the DID objects in there right now, right? We're going to throw the whole blob. Now, why are we going to do that? Why are we going to throw the whole blob? Because we're going to be lazy right now. We're just going to whole blob. Now, the thing is, because everything is a data flow, you can have these arbitrary little translation layers here and there, and you can apply them all as overlays over whatever you want. So oh, hack the box. Yeah. Oh, we're going to spin up a bunch of hack the box stuff later. That'll be months from now. Um, let's see. Save. Forgot to do that. Okay. And we can close this. Yeah. So basically, and we're going to so we're also going to build the um, we're going to have this Alice's herstory of what she did, right? And so we're also, I'm going to have a history of my commands as well. You're going to have a history of your commands. We're all going to have a history of all our commands, right? Whatever you want to save, right? If you don't want to save it, you don't add it to the history, whatever, right? But by default, we're going to sort of save, right? Because we want to understand where the more information we capture, the more we can make Alice, better for ourselves, right? Because this is our developer tooling that we're making here, right? And so she needs to know about our development process and environment and how things evolve in order to really understand us as a developer and help us, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to leverage Keybase. If you're not familiar with Keybase, go check it out. So we're going to go leverage Keybase, and we're going to leverage Keybase as an oracle. And my understanding. So once again, I'm not the world's expert on blockchain by any means at all. But my understanding of the term oracle as it relates to blockchain stuff is that the oracle is sort of this thing that you trust. And so we are going to say that we trust Keybase to link people's identities for us. So remember, we're just serializing the pure DIDs. This is just our backing format. We're going to store it in MySQL, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're transforming data. It doesn't even matter. And so what we're going to do is we're going to trust Keybase, right? So we're going to say, okay, this is, PDX Johnny, right? And that's the first one we're going to link, right? Because I'm going to run the thing. And so it's going to need to be my history. And so then eventually we'll make one for Alice, right? And so what we can do is we're going to explore TBDEX and the bid call response situation as a way of issuing new system contexts. So instead of right now, when you come into so you go check out the conceptual. There's so concepts, data flows, and then this is kind of buried, eh? Okay. So what happens when a data flow runs? Okay, so this is what happens when a data flow runs, right? So let's see. So, and remember, we can overlay. So we're going to make data flow as class, which means each of these is going to be a data flow itself, each block. And we can overlay, and we can have different instances, different places. And so what we can do is we can have prioritization. So prioritization can simply be an overlay which you apply to every operation, right? Or maybe in front of the instantiator, right? So the thing that instantiates your operations, maybe you apply this overlay wrapper in front of it. So then every operation is going to get wrapped via whatever data flows that you overlay that may wrap it as well, right? So this is how we can add prioritization. So by default, the operation will get executed if it's picked up, right? But the first thing that will happen is it will be prioritized, right, before it gets executed, because the prioritizer is essentially like, it's like subclassing the operation if the operation is a single method interface. And that brings us to DIDs, which are basically this, as far as I can tell, like this single method interface, which is perfect. So the DID is the manifest. The DID is the manifest. They're like that is, we can basically, every manifest is the doc, and there's the DID and the doc. So the manifest is the doc, and the DID is the ID, the unique ID for that doc. It's perfect. This DID stuff, they have done a beautiful job. And so, okay, so it's like a primitive that we can use that gives us both trust and encryption if we need it, and communication, and this extensibility. It's this manifest format. It's this format, right? That the ODAP and DIDs, a part of that are this. They make up this format, right? And the way that we get the data on and off the chain, right? And now how we deal with these off-chain contracts, right? This is how we introduce, this architecture of sort of saying, here's what you could do with the data that's on the chain. Like um, here's how you link DIDs together, basically, like to do programs, like that's what we're saying, right? We're saying here's how you can use these DID methods, right? Here's a set of DID methods which you can use to construct this open architecture, this standard architecture, whatever, this Alice, this execution environment for Alice, right? Because if we all speak this execution environment, then we all can execute these versions of Alice which are out on the chain, which also includes that means we can go rebuild all our S bonds.